What level of intimacy is allowed or not allowed between a husband and wife during fasting? What is well known among the Muslims and the consensus of all scholars of Islam, that having intercourse during the daytime of Ramadan is prohibited. Now, what draws a person closer to intercourse is prohibited as well. But if a person knows himself well and he knows that he has self-control and he would not ever be tempted to fall into intercourse during the daytime of Ramadan, whether it's a he or a she, in this case, there's no problem in any type of intimacy as long as it does not lead to intercourse. So kissing, hugging, being intimate is permissible, providing you have self-control. And this is why when the companions used to be asked about a man kissing his wife during the daytime of Ramadan, sometimes they would say, there's no problem. And sometimes they would say, this is prohibited. And when their companions asked them, why give two different answers? They said that the first man was an old man. So kissing his wife would not lead to anything dangerous because he's old. He's not hot-blooded. He's not young. While the second person was a young man who was newlywed. So most likely, if he kisses his wife, things would escalate and lead to something that might put him in danger, in the sense that he may have intercourse with his wife, which would mean that they would have to pay the expiation. Freeing a slave, if not possible. Fasting 2 consecutive months, if not possible. Feeding 60 people. One would say, for missing one day, I fast 60 consecutive days with non-stop? This is too much. Well, you don't decide, my friend, whether it's too much or not. You have committed a grave and serious sin, and you have to pay the consequences. Now, who dictated that this is the expiation? It's Allah Azza wa Jal. So you don't get to pick and choose. You don't get to say, feeding 60 people is okay. It's only 10% of my salary. So here we go. No, you have to free a slave. There are no slaves. You have to fast 60 consecutive months. I can't. Why can't you? It's too difficult. I have meetings. I have to drink cappuccino and I have to do this. This is not a legitimate excuse. Are you chronically ill? No, I'm fit as a horse. You have to fast. Sheikh, 60 days is too much. This is what you have to pay because you have sinned and disobeyed Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, to substitute, this is a luxury that we do not have in Islam. Either you fast the full 60 days or you're unable. And your inability is not judged by your own whims and desires. A mufti should tell you, yes, you're unable. So if you are chronically ill, if you're too weak, if you are unable to fast due to a legitimate reason related to health, then yes, you can feed 60 people. But if you just simply feel bored or don't want to, or you have lame excuses, this doesn't work. You cannot fast like 50 days and feed 10 people. It doesn't work like this. This is not the stock exchange market that you can pick and choose different portfolios. Nope. You have to fast the 60 days and you have to do this believing and hoping that Allah will forgive you, because what you have done is a serious offense and a serious sin. So when we say you have to fast 60 days, this is not accurate. You have to fast 2 consecutive months. So if I start fasting on the 15th of Muharram, I finish on the 15th of Rabi' al-Awwal. Whether Muharram was 29 days or 30, it doesn't matter. Whether Safar was 29 days or 30, it doesn't matter. 2 consecutive months. Began at 15, finish at 15. Now, if I missed and I fasted the whole period, but on the 13th of Rabi', I didn't fast for no legitimate reason. What should I do? It's very simple. Begin fasting 2 consecutive months. See, when we say consecutive, mean that you do not break it except with a legitimate reason. What do you mean, Sheikh, legitimate reason? Well, a woman is fasting 2 consecutive months, she gets her period. 7 days, she cannot fast. Today she saw her purity, she took ghusl. Tomorrow she must fast. If she missed tomorrow, she should start over from day 1. But if she fasted a month and got her menses for a week, and the 8th day she fasts, then this is number 31. 1 month, and this is the 31st. A person travels legitimately. I work in a company, they tell me to go 1 week to London. It's a legitimate excuse. Full week, I do not fast. When I come back, immediately I have to fast. I started fasting the month of Dhul Qa'dah, the full. And then 9 days of Dhul Hijjah. And then I had Eid and the 3 days of Tashriq, which is haram for a resident to fast. I have to break my fast. Eid, 3 days afterwards. Then what? Immediately on the 14th of Dhul Hijjah, I have to resume fasting. So the month of Dhul Qa'dah, 9 days of Dhul Hijjah, 39. Starting from 14, this is the 40th day onwards. If I fall sick, I can break my fast and continue after I recover. Well, Sheikh, what do you mean sick? Because I got a wound in my finger. Can I break my fast? No, akhi. This does not impact your fasting. So like I have a knee pain. Doesn't impact your fasting. I broke my leg. Doesn't impact your fasting. Something that does with your health. So you have stomachache. You have severe migraines that requires you take a lot of painkillers. You have something that is making your fever high or your power low. This is a legitimate reason. You may break your fast. Once you recover, immediately you have to follow, continue, and complete. And Allah knows best.